problems here. Let that load up here. It is loading, loading, loading. It is done loading. Okay. So the instructions are pretty straightforward. They just say something like to simplify. They actually don't need the rest of this stuff. This is really, it's really a couple of problems in one. It's really t to the fifth over t squared, u to the fourth over u. And what's the, do you remember from class what the exponent is if it's not written?
1.
1. Okay, so it's really two problems here. You guys got to do each of them separately and combine the results. Now there's a bunch of properties, and you're going to see me showing you those over and over again today. The first is that if you have an exponent to an exponent, I'm sorry, if you have a base to an exponent, and you're dividing by another base to the exponent. But the thing here you need to focus on is that the base is the same. Okay. When you're dividing, division becomes subtraction. You subtract the exponents.
Okay.
Okay. So in this problem we have here, okay, you're like, okay, I got it. It's 5 minus 2. Okay. And then it's 4 minus 1. Okay. So you have to know this property. You don't have to write it out. You just have to know it. You have to be able to subtract here. Okay. So this is t to the power of 3, u to the power of 3.
Okay.
Okay. So the key here is that the bases have to be the same. All right. Like you can't combine the u with the t and this u with this t. I mean, that's pretty straightforward here. So let's do you know, maybe that's enough to sort of say, oh, I got it. There's a few exceptions here, so let's get to those. We'll get to those in a moment here, but let's look at number 2. Number 2 here. So again, it's really 3 problems. It's a to the 6th over a cubed, b to the 4th over b squared, c to the 10th over c to the power of 1, and you subtract the exponents. Okay, so a cubed, b squared, c to the 9th. All right, now the next problem we should look at here would be something like 5, because 3 and 4 are pretty much the same. We'll look at 5 here and talk about this one. All right. So in the previous problems, the variables were always lined up. They don't have to line up here. So we can reorder this if we want. Usually it's in alphabetical order.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, that doesn't really matter here. So, I mean, sometimes I can't remember, does G come before H? I got to do my alphabet. But I believe G does come before H. So we might write this as G to the 7th, H, G to the 8th, H square, M to the 1, H to the 1. All right, so notice there's no M, or at least there's the appearance of no M.
Yeah.
This leads to potentially another property here. Have you seen this one where
Yeah.
anything to the 0 power is 1? Okay, now you generally don't want to write this, but it does work, because this becomes 8 minus 7, 2 minus 1, 1 minus 0. But maybe you already knew that it was m to the power of 1.
Yeah.
Right. So if that was clear, I'd like you to try number 7 on your own.
Okay.
And if you have questions, please ask, but just a chance for me to gauge how you're doing on the up. I'm sorry. You know, this one's okay. This one's okay. Sorry. Thought I was giving you something different. Yeah, go ahead and work through this. Just let me know your final answer when you're all done.
Okay. I got X1 and Z1.
X to the power of 1, Z to the power of 1. What about Y?
Oh. Wait. Y2. Oh, I thought Y. Okay. My fault. And then Y1.
Yeah, now, just something to think about here. If you did not rewrite it like this, and I know that that's, maybe it's like Why would I do that? I can see them all there. It does give you clarity. So if you don't want to rewrite it, okay, at least cross things out as you use them up.
Okay.
Because that somehow our eyes are like, oh yeah, we didn't deal with that one.
Yeah, I just wrote y2 and y2. I thought it was like a 2 on the bottom.
All right, so give you another chance here. Let me give you another problem here to look at. 8, I'd like you to try 8 on your own here. I'll snip it in, and then we'll look at some other stuff here. This does get more difficult. I don't want you to think, oh, I got it, 8 minutes into the lesson.
Yeah.
But go ahead and work this out. Let me know your final answer. Order doesn't matter to me.
I got n to the power of 1, and then q to the power of 2, and then w to the power of 6.
What's the
Oh,
exponent?
yeah, it'd be 5.
Yeah.
Okay, so then it'd be,
Yeah. So write a 1 if you don't see it. All right.
Wait, so when do we write a 0? It's when there
Well,
isn't
when there's none, when there's
Okay.
nothing there, or you don't need to write anything.
Okay.
That it's only if you feel really compelled to, and you're like, I don't like it without having something there underneath.
Okay.
All right. So we need to do a problem now that's not listed here to kind of talk about something that most students really struggle with. See, these are just examples. We will get to more of this, but this is key here. So let's say I give you a much more basic problem: x squared over x, y to the 5th over y to the 7th. Okay. Tell me what x becomes. What is the exponent for x here?
X to the power of 1.
1. Good. It's 2 minus 1. Now the next one is 5 minus 7. It's to the power of -2.
Okay.
So this is the first time that we have seen a negative exponent in any of the problems that we're doing. But notice, first of all, you still write it. You don't try to account for the negative yet. You just subtract. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, what does this mean? What does a negative exponent mean? Well, y to the -2 really is the following. It's parentheses y to the -2. Okay. And it's really y over 1 to the power of -2. Okay. Do you agree that y can be written as y over 1?
Yeah.
So this negative, the negative exponent means to flip what's inside parentheses. So notice all I did was flip and remove the negative.
Okay.
Okay. Now, this 2, you're starting to learn this. This 2 applies to both the top and the bottom. So it's really 1 squared over y squared, which is 1 over y squared. Okay. Now, if you didn't catch all that, that's okay. The summary here is that y to the -2 becomes 1 over y squared. Okay. And so x is really x over 1. This multiplies to x over y squared.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna do another problem. I'm not gonna just leave it there and move on to harder ones. We're gonna talk about this. I'm sorry, if you need to get this down,
Oh, it's okay.
got it. Okay. Because we're gonna use that. So the property here is that, like, let's say I tell you that it's x to the -3. The property is that your negative exponent means 1 over x to the same exponent. Okay, so in this problem, it would be like 1 over x to the power of 3. Okay, so if I give you another problem here, like let's say it's t cubed over t to the 8th, r to the 9th, r to the 7th. Let's talk through this. So this would be t to the 3 minus 8 power, r to the 9 minus 7 power. Okay, so this is t to the -5 r squared. This t to the minus 5 can be rewritten as what? How would you rewrite it based on what we've talked about? Just this part here.
1 over t minus 5, or should it be 5?
Let's go back and look. See how the
Yeah,
negative exponent becomes positive
yeah, flip it.
in the
Yeah.
example here? Yes. Okay. So this becomes positive 5. You got it. This has got to be really clear. So this is 1 over t to the 5th
Mm,
times r squared over 1, r squared on top, t to the 5th on the bottom.
okay.
Okay. So let me have you try one here. See where you're at here. Let's say it's x to the 5th over x cubed, y squared over y, z over z to the 4th. Okay, so I'd like you to try simplifying this one. And if you have questions, please ask.
Okay. Okay, I got x to the power of 3, and then y to the power of 1, and then 1 over z to the power of 3. Oh, I can't hear you. Oh, wait, that should.
Sorry about that. That's me. I sometimes mute myself between problems. One small mistake here. What's the 5? 5 minus 3?
Yeah, it's 2.
It's 2.
Oh,
All right.
I keep writing it wrong. I wrote 5 and then x to the 3 on the bottom. Or I mean x to the 2.
Oh, so you wrote it down wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why my screen is all funky. Sometimes that happens when you're doing this. I mean, your problems will be in front of you in a test or quiz. Now,
Mm,
while this is correct, your teacher does not want to see a 1 in the numerator. So you would want to write this. And you can put the power of 1 here if you want for y. This is what they want, though.
okay.
Okay. Now, let's look at another problem here. Let's look at another problem together. Let's say the final answer is z to the minus 2, w to the minus 3, x squared. Okay. So we know the first one is 1 over z squared, 1 over w cubed, and x squared on the top, 1 on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
So the way you would write your answer is x squared, z squared, w cubed without any 1s.
Okay.
You cannot have any 1s. And notice you can have more than 1 on the bottom here. Like
Yeah.
that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you might be thinking, well, okay, well, are there ever 1s? Yeah, like let's say your answer is u to the minus 3, v to the minus 4. This is 1 over u cubed, 1 over v to the 4th.
Mm-hmm.
So this becomes 1 over u cubed v to the 4th.
Okay.
Okay, so basically the negative exponents go to the bottom and the positive ones, they stay up top.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm gonna have you try a new problem here. This is a try it out. Let's say it's x squared over x cubed, y to the 4th, y to the 7th, z to the 8th, z in the bottom here. So let me know what you come up with for a final answer.
Okay. Okay, I got z to the power of 7 over x to the power of 1 and y to the power of 3.
Correct.
Okay.
Well done. Okay, so I'm gonna add just a small wrinkle to these problems.
Mhm.
Just a minor little thing. So the exponents to start, can be negative. Okay, but not your final answer.
Mhm.
So maybe it's like, what does he mean by that? You know, you speak in a foreign language. Well, I can put x to the -2 over x to the -4,
Mhm.
y to the -1 over y cubed. Okay, something like this. Now, you still subtract, okay? But you have to be very clear with how you do it. Now, the first time you run a play in basketball, you don't run at full speed, right? You go slow, maybe take some steps, make sure everyone's in the right position. We're gonna do the
Mhm.
same thing here. -2 minus a -4. So notice that even though this is on the bottom as negative, that negative is the one inside parentheses. This fraction bar, that's your subtraction operator.
Mhm.
You still subtract. And even to this day, I will sometimes write it out this explicitly because I want to make sure I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah.
So -1, big fraction bar, that's your subtraction 3. Okay. So this is where, you're really going to have to, take some time, make sure you got this down and be clear on this. So the it's okay to come off to the side. What is -2 minus a -4? Well, it's really -2 plus 4, which is
Mhm.
+2. So
Yeah.
this is x squared.
Okay.
-1 -3, they're both negative. Keep the sign, add the numbers together, you get -4.
Mhm.
Okay, so we're back down to a single line like
Yeah.
this. Okay, now these problems get more difficult, but we're sequencing through them a little bit better than your book is. So now you have to say, oh, I make this y to the -4, 1 over y to the 4th, multiply the tops, and this is your final answer. So your final answer can only positive exponents.
Mhm.
Did you hear that in class?
Yeah.
Why? I don't know. They don't like them. They don't like negative numbers. That's just the nature of this. There's not
Mhm.
really a good explanation, unfortunately, for that. Maybe it looks better. I don't know.
Mhm.
I actually think this line looks better than this, but
Mhm.
that's me. Who knows? So you can never give me an answer with negative exponents. You should never submit an answer on your test with negative exponents. They'll just look at it and mark it wrong. So don't do
Okay.
don't do that. That's the whole point here. Now,
Mhm.
how's your comfort level with the subtraction?
That's good.
Okay, let me give you let me give you a couple problems here to try and see where you're at here. So let's go u to the -5th, v to the 8th, w to the -2 over u to the -7, v to the -3, w to the -1. So give that a try, please.
I got u to the power of 2
Okay, okay, good.
and v to the power of 11,
Good.
and then w to the power of 1.
Where is that? Is that in the top or the bottom?
Um, the bottom.
Okay. Yes. So again, if you didn't write it, like sometimes it's just like you got to write out it's minus a -1. So that
Mhm.
becomes -2 plus 1, which is -1. And that's why it goes to the bottom.
Yeah.
there's not a ton of partial credit on these because it's like you already know most of the letters are going to be there, and you're probably only off by an exponent. It may not feel fair, but that's that's the nature of these things. So let's try another one here.
Okay.
Pretty good. I think you can get them all right. So you got it. So you have to tell me your answer. Like, hey, you can either say numerator, denominator, over, whatever you want to do here. So,
Okay.
all right. Let's see what letters we'll do. X to the -5, Y to the -3, Z to the 7th over. Okay. Give this one a try, please, and let me know what you come up with.
Okay. Okay. I got y to the power of 1,
Okay.
and then z to the power of 6.
So it's okay. So Z is 7 minus a -1, or 7 minus parentheses -1.
7. Oh, it should be 8.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And if you're allowed to use technology, please do to assist you on this. What about X? Where does X go?
I got on the denominator, I got x to the power of 3.
Good. Okay. So I would say, like most students, you just need a little refresher on this because you just, you're like, you haven't done it in a while, and it's not hard. It's just remembering two negatives make a positive,
Mm-hmm.
like in the previous problem here, making sure you move that sign over and figure out, is it negative, the answer negative or positive. We can cover all that if we need to. This time's completely for you.
Mm-hmm.
The most important thing is that you get the right answer.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we have not done this yet. We've not added numbers in. Okay, so you're like, what does it mean? What does it mean? Like, coefficients, like let's say it's 32 x to the 6th, y to the -2 over 4 x to the 7th, y to the -5. Okay, so however, this should really just, you should just notice that, especially with the spacing, it's really 3 different problems.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 32 divided by 4, you actually divide that. You don't deal with, sorry, I guess you can't see my cursor. You just divide 32 over 4. You don't subtract. You just do the straight division. Sometimes though, the way our brain works is like, if you've been doing something long enough, you think, oh, well, I just subtract those. Like, no, the answer is not 28, it's 8.
Yeah.
Now, where
Mm-hmm.
does the 8 go? It goes in the numerator. Okay, everything goes in the numerator until otherwise. So it's 6 minus 7, -2 minus a -5. Okay, and you can choose at any point in time, the minus becomes plus, y cubed. You can choose anytime to move things to the bottom, but I would wait till the end. So it's 8y cubed over x, like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So let's if you get that down, we'll look at another example here, or have you try one here. So now here's a new problem. Let's say it's 3w to the 5th, r to the power of -2 over 9, w to the -6, r to the -1. Okay. Now this one's different because if you notice in the previous problem, it was 32 over 4. This is
Mm-hmm.
3 over 9. And yes, 9 divided by 3 is 3, but 3
Mm-hmm.
divided by 9 is not. It is 1/3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now you will eventually see where to write this, but for now, just write it as if it's going in the numerator.
Okay.
Okay. So then it's W, and I'm not gonna write that yet. 5 minus a minus 6 minus 2 minus a minus 1. So we got 1/3 W to the 11th. The
Mm-hmm.
two minuses here make a plus, so it's R to the minus 1. So here is one form of your final answer.
Okay.
Okay, here's one form of this. But generally, we don't like no fractions in the numerator or denominator.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? I don't know. These are rules. You got to play by the rules, right? Why is the basketball court? Well, maybe you know. I don't know what, certain things I don't know. Like, why is the basketball court the way it is?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it the size it is? I don't know. But this is not the correct answer. Okay. So the correct answer, and will actually come from this line right here, is to put the 1 up top and the 3 on the bottom.
Okay.
W to the 11th, R to the minus 1. So the variables still maintain being in the numerator for now.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's a fraction, that fraction goes, whatever is in the numerator goes in the numerator, whatever's in the bottom goes in the bottom. And then this R will move down. Will move down
Okay.
into the bottom. Okay, do you see that?
Yeah.
So it's W to the 11th over 3R.
Mm-hmm.
Now everything we've done the last 2 or 3 lines here is just to make it what I call pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it's really, there's really no math, but your answer will never be, your instructor will not accept this,
Mm-hmm.
no negative exponents. It's a bunch of rules. Do you have a dress code at school still?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. Like if you don't adhere, you know what happens. You get
Mm-hmm.
whatever written up, you have to
Yeah.
change shirts, whatever. So
Mhm.
let's have you try one here. Okay.
Okay.
Let's try 2 over 10 x to the minus 2, x to the 4th, y to the minus 3, y to the minus 5, like that. Give that a try, please.
Okay. I got 1 for the numerator, and then y to the power of 2.
Good,
And then in the denominator, I got 5, and then x to the power of 6.
good, really good.
Cool.
All right. Let's have you try one more here. Let's go 50 u to the 6th, v to the minus 8 over 25 u squared v to the minus 2.
Okay. I got 2, and then u to the power of 4.
Okay,
And then in the denominator, I got v to the power of 6.
good. All right, really good. So we're going to jump back to your textbook problems here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of, this is kind of something new. It's really good that we're spending all this time on these negative exponents. You would not believe how many students are unclear on this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is kind of new. It's like I've not seen a negative exponent in the bottom without there being an exponent, without there being something on the top. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but we kind of addressed this before. We said, well, write t to the 0 on the top.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this looks like this: r cubed v to the minus 2, t to the 0 minus a minus 7.
Mhm.
Is it clear why that is 0? Big subtraction bar.
Yeah.
Okay, so this becomes r cubed v to the minus 2 t to the power of 7.
Mhm.
Can I leave this as my final answer?
No.
What should I change?
The v to the negative 2 needs to go to the bottom to make it v to the power 2.
Perfect, really good. Okay, now here's what you should notice. Here's the original problem. Let me grab it one more time. Put it over here. And then here's your final answer on the left here. So do you
Mhm.
see that the negative exponent went to the bottom and the
Yeah.
negative exponent went to the top?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I
there's
remember doing this in class.
yeah, so this property I gave you, it's only
Mhm.
half of it. It's also true that if it's 1 over x to the minus n, it becomes x to the n.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I give you a problem like this, if I say x to the minus 2, y to the minus 7th, w to the minus 3, u to the minus 4, everything is going to switch positions.
Yeah.
Okay, so the x squared comes down here, y to the 7th comes down here, w to cubed up here, u to the 4th up here.
Mhm.
Okay, and it's your responsibility to know that, to understand that.
Yeah.
Okay, so if that was clear, and I hope it is,
Mhm.
let's look at a problem like 15. Let me have you try 15. My screen is lagging. Sorry, give me just a moment.
Mhm.
Breaks are good anyway. All right. I'd like you to simplify this one based on what we just said, please.
Okay. I got g to the power of 2
Okay,
and then h to the power of 4
good.
over f to the power of 3.
Yes. Now give me some feedback. Does it feel like there's a lot of rules here, or does it feel like this is doable?
I think I got because I am like my teacher told me there's like 3 different rules for like this one subject, like 3 different things.
Yeah, there's a few more we're gonna look at next. You've already answered it. One of them. What is anything to the 0 power?
The other number 1.
1.
Oh, it's
And
just 1.
and so sometimes I like things in words. Anything to the 0 power.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I'm going to throw a symbol at you that you've not seen before. Don't even worry about that.
Mhm.
Now, if I raise this to the 0 power, what is the answer?
1.
Yes.
Okay.
So it does not matter. And you see these sometimes on quizzes where you've been doing a bunch of problems like we've been doing, and then the teacher will throw in a 12 or a 13
Hmm.
to mix it up. And your eyes have to be drawn to the exponent.
Okay.
Anything to the 0 power is
1.
1. It,
So
it
you don't
just
even have to do any of the
no,
work.
yeah, well, you did. You're done.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's okay. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
you will see. I mean, this since this is being emphasized, you will see a problem like this on a test or a quiz where you're like, and that's why I gave you this example. It could be something you have no idea about,
Mm-hmm.
and doesn't matter. It's to the power of 0 means it's 1.
Okay.
All right. So let's have you try 17 here. We're only gonna be able to go 40 minutes today because I have to run to be to another appointment
Yeah.
at 1. But we actually got through everything, almost
Mm-hmm.
everything here. There's So I'd like you to try this problem here.
Okay.
Let me know if you have any questions, but
Okay. Okay. I got 1 and then a to the power of 5
good.
and then c to the power of 13
Okay, over.
over 3 and then b to the power of 9.
Good. And you've accounted for all the variables and letters there. Really good. Okay, I'm going to quickly run through 16, and that'll probably be it for today. There
Okay.
is one property we did not cover, but we really need to talk about negative exponents when there's actually a little more to cover here. So this negative in front, it only applies to the 8. Like, you really should just look at this part
Mm-hmm.
together. So it ends up being -2 over 3,
Mm-hmm.
which is fine. And then it's x2 minus 4. That's -2. So what you'll start doing is you'll start just moving it to the bottom. Maybe you've already done that. 8 minus a -7 is y to the 15th. So since it's positive, it goes up there. And then z minus 5 minus 7 is -12. So that goes to the bottom there.
Okay.
Okay. So here's what we have not done. We did not do problems like 9 and 11. We can talk about those another time, or you'll see them in class, but they're pretty straightforward to get.
Okay.
So let me just stop the recording here.